Oh, hey.
So Casey and I just went to Disneyland and it was really fun and we want to tell you all about it.
Yes. It was really fun.
Did you have anyone ask, like, not ask, but like say what they would want to know?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So, well, we're just going to tell you everything, and that's what you get for not saying what you want to hear. You just have to hear it all. Okay, so I guess like a quick overview of not what happened, but what we did. Casey flew into Colorado and stayed with me Thursday night. We didn't go to bed till what, like 1:30?
All I know is that we had an hour nap before we
Yeah.
had to be up and leave.
Yeah, we had to get up and leave at like 3:30, I think it was. So we really did just have a nap, and it wasn't even a good one. And so we we like jumped in the car, went to the airport, parked the car, all that fun stuff. And then we got there on Friday morning, checked into our hotel, but like our room wasn't ready, so we dropped our bags. So
Yep.
that's something like already, if you get there before your check-in time, whatever hotel it is, we stayed at a Good Neighbor hotel, which I didn't even know was Good Neighbor when I booked it. But
Holiday Inn.
yeah, Holiday Inn. And it was like very decent too. And
Yeah, it was nice.
it was supposedly in walking distance. We didn't walk, we could get into all that stuff, but if you check in, or if you get in before your check-in time, all hotels have a luggage closet. They call it different things, but they can check your luggage in for you in a closet while you go do your thing until your room's ready. So that's what we did. We dropped our stuff in the morning and we went straight to Disneyland. We Ubered there.
Let me
Uh,
just say, I did not realize that like all hotels did that. I thought it was like a bougie Disney World kind of a thing where you have like you could drop your luggage. I
no,
didn't
we
know that all
learned.
hotels did
I
that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I
No.
think we learned that. So Clay and I used to travel a lot, and I don't know if it was our honeymoon that we learned it or before that, but where we were traveling, I remember specifically our honeymoon because it was Italy and we went to 6 different cities. And so that was a lot of different hotels. And there were a lot of times like we had a day, or we probably had like 2 or 3 days in a place. So we wanted to take all that time. And I remember every hotel like checking our bags in because it was never ready. So now I just always do it. Could you imagine if we had to carry our luggage around, especially your big suit, broken, not rolling suitcase
Yeah, the one broken
to
wheel. Oh
Disneyland?
my gosh.
Like, ma'am, this is not okay.
At that point, I think I would have just ditched the bag and like said, screw it.
Yeah.
I couldn't. Oh my God.
Okay, so if you've never been to Disneyland, when you're dropped off, there's a few different ways to enter. One of the ways is into the back of downtown Disney, like where there's a monorail station somewhere back there too. You immediately go through security, and then you're in downtown Disney. So you keep going, and then to one side is California Adventure, one side is Disneyland. The way that we originally came in on our first day was the other side, where you're dropped off at like basically where the shuttles drop off. You go through
Mhm.
security, and then you're like in the big platform where you have both parks on either side of you. And that's the way we came in. And I'm kind of glad that we did, because like we just immediately saw Disneyland pretty
I
much
like
like once we passed the buses. So I don't know. What did you think? Like, I know it's so different than Disney because at Disney World, not that it's not Disney, but at Disney World, like you're dropped off by a bus at one park. You don't get to go to other parks just by walking. So like, what
Yeah.
did you think?
I was a little like, I guess, underwhelmed at first because like I just imagined the big buses like Disney World has, and that wasn't the case. So I
They
was
don't have
just
them.
like looking around, like, wow, there's not very many bus stops. Okay. This is fun so
Yeah.
far. But no, I think the one thing that I love the most, like upon arriving and seeing everything, is that both of the parks are directly across from one another, and then Disney Springs is right in the middle.
Yeah, they don't have that big grand entrance. Well, so Disneyland has their train station, and like the California Adventure, at least at this point, had Oogie Boogie, such a cool like entrance. But other than that, like when you think about going to Walt Disney World, you drive past all the signs, you go under that giant Walt Disney World arch, and like it doesn't have any of that. They don't even have like a big Disneyland sign.
Yeah.
And so I kind of remember feeling the same way when I very first saw it. I was just like, what? But then what, like you said, like what I also love about it is that it is like that. Like it's just
Mhm.
everything's there. And like you give up the big grand show of it, but then they put on like other cute shows, like all their little pumpkin characters on the top of Disneyland. There was like
That
a
was
Goofy
cute.
and Donald Duck and all them, and like they were carved pumpkins. It was so cute.
I felt like with Disneyland being smaller than Disney World, they put they put a lot of detail into those two parks.
They really
I don't,
do.
I mean, I get that Disney World, yes, they decorate for fall and for,
They
you
have their
know,
light lantern little wreaths and
yeah, but it was not, I don't think it's anything compared to what Disneyland does.
yeah. I don't think so either. It's been a long time since I've seen, I don't know, probably like 5 years since I've seen Disney World's decorations, but I would totally agree. Like Disneyland goes all out. So they had those characters, and then they have like the same kind of thing that I think Disney World does, where at the train station in front of it, they have like the flowers or whatever, like it's fall themed. But then
Yeah.
when you go into Disneyland, when you go into Disney World, they have the giant castle at the end. So I kind of understand why Disney World does this, but they just have like two little towers of pumpkins where you have a photo out with the castle in the background. Well,
Mhm.
since Disneyland's castle is like a Lego set, they block it. And it's like that giant pumpkin Mickey. And
But
I
I
love
kind of
the other
prefer
tower.
that.
What's that? You prefer? I
I
do too.
kind of preferred that. I really liked it. I thought it was very different because, I mean, we just went to Disney World in September, so we saw all of the fall decorations. I way preferred Disneyland's.
Yeah, good. It's so fun. I like how on the back of the pumpkin monkey, pimpin' monkey, the pumpkin Mickey, he's winking at you when you leave. Like, you'll be back.
I loved everything about it.
I will say though, too, like Clay and I, when we have gone, it was Christmas time, like the first weekend of Christmas decorations. And I don't think they go either. It was too early in the season for us to see, or they just don't go as all out for Christmas. So it was like extra cool to see Halloween. I didn't expect it to be so decorated since like Christmas, at least when we saw it, wasn't that decorated. And then in DCA, I didn't really expect anything, but like that one night we went in, it was the night before an Oogie Boogie Bash, and they already had like some kind of photo tub thing like set up for the Oogie Boogie Bash, like a photo op. And then they had him, Oogie Boogie was projected on one of the buildings, like when you walk in, one of the buildings on Buena Vista Street. I think that's what it's called. Like he was like projected and he was like talking and stuff, and just
Yeah.
random decorations that I absolutely did not expect. And it was really cool.
Their entrance for DCA was really cool with Oogie Boogie on it.
And he
I mean,
talks and
yeah,
lights up.
Disneyland way outdid themselves on decorations. I wasn't expecting that because I feel like everyone talks about Disney World, and the only thing I ever hear about Disneyland is, well, the castle sucks and it's way smaller.
Yeah.
I preferred, like, unpopular opinion, I prefer Disneyland over Disney World any day. I really do. I loved it. I
I do too.
absolutely loved it.
I
And
do
that
too.
says a lot because we didn't get to do everything. We didn't get to see everything. I
I feel
mean,
like we
we had such a short time
yeah.
there, but it's definitely my favorite.
I feel like we barely scratched the surface. I was thinking like with the castle, you can go in it. We didn't even go in it. We didn't even
No.
like do the thing. There's so much we didn't do. Like we didn't do hardly any of the slow rides at Disneyland. And that's what they're like, I would say like ride wise, other than like Avengers Campus and like those big things, they're known for those slow dark rides because they have Mr. Toadstool, they have the scary version of Snow White, they have like all these things that I generally wouldn't be interested, but it's almost like a nostalgia thing that is
Yeah.
like, okay, but that wasn't something that we focused on our trip because like you and I, well, first of all, we were dead tired the first day. Like,
Worky.
I thought I was going to pick Casey up off the floor. No, I'm just kidding. But we were dead tired, and it was just like we were overwhelmed because we went there for business. And so trying to fight through the no sleep, do business, and enjoy ourselves felt impossible. So we had gotten to a point where we stopped and we ate lunch at Blue Bayou. Cannot wait to talk about it. And like stepped back, and we were like, okay. Or maybe that was actually when we were eating chicken tenders. I don't know. But I feel like maybe it happened twice because I feel like we did it at both.
I agree with the fact that I think it was Blue Bayou because prior to, like, I was very just like, reserved, not saying a whole lot.
Trying to
Like,
just stay awake.
yeah. And like, I felt bad because I know that you had mentioned like you thought maybe I wasn't having a good time. And I totally was.
Don't
I
feel bad.
was whipped.
It's okay. It's totally fine. I totally get it. I don't know, honestly, how either one of us really pushed through the way that we did. Because even after that, when we like took a step back, we didn't go to the hotel. We didn't go take a nap or anything, but we were just like, we're going to enjoy this. We're not going to let ourselves get stressed. We just need to get some food in us and like mentally prepare ourselves. And we did, and it was fine. And it was just really fun. But like, I think that on top of like already not having enough time, like, plus rides kept going down like
Mm.
every time we got in line. So basically, what we did when we got to the park and went in, we went to Disneyland first. I don't think we ever went to DCA that day. Did we?
No.
No. So
Mm-mm.
then I don't even remember like, oh, the first thing we did was went straight to New Orleans Square and got in line for Haunted Mansion Holiday. And we
Yeah.
were like, I don't know if we want to, like the line was really long. And it's good thing we did because those wait times just kept getting longer and
Yeah.
longer and longer. And that is my favorite ride. It was like the best way I could have like ever asked to start the trip. Wait,
It
I
was
think I lied.
fun.
I think we ate chicken tenders first.
Yeah, we
Like
did.
that day is such a blur.
I
Like
felt like
normal
we just kind of ran around looking
for
for a
food.
place to eat. And I felt like that was my biggest like drawback with Disneyland was there wasn't a lot of quick service options or
That
even
wasn't
really,
dessert.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I needed like a real meal.
Yeah. There were plenty of snacks and they had Mickey Beanies and they had the mint julep bar and they had all this, but it was like if you wanted real food, it was either New Orleans food that we didn't really want to try because usually New Orleans food not from New Orleans is not good. And then I don't chicken tenders like at the Golden Horseshoe. So that's what we got. They were good chicken tenders. I
They
don't know if
were.
it's because we were starving or they were just really good. They were good.
I don't know. Just like grabbing in and out in Colorado before heading back to your house. I swear to God, I don't know if it was because I was so hungry and so dead tired that it tasted like a fillet or if it was really
Oh,
that
fun.
good. It was so good.
I
I
mean,
loved it.
I want all of you watching to tell us if you're an In-N-Out fan. That was Casey's first time having In-N-Out. And I mean, most people feel that way. So it could be partly because you were starving, but In-N-Out really is really good. Like Clay, we brought home Clay a burger. It had to have taken us an hour and a half to 2 hours to get it to him, and he still like devoured it. He just
So good. That sauce, like
that's really good.
that's what dreams are made of.
So good. Now I want it again. It's like an hour and a half away from me, or I'd be
I'll
going.
catch the next flight.
Yeah. I'll just come pick you up from the airport. We'll do the whole thing again. We still have 2
Exactly.
days to go to Disneyland. We just have to do the whole.
No, right? Justin asked me today, he's like, because we had gone to Sam's and we saw like a scooter and Oliver, our neighbor, their son Lincoln has a scooter. And so Ollie now wants a scooter. And so we're talking about Christmas gifts and he's like, well, what do you want for Christmas? And in my head, I'm like, I want to go back to Disneyland with Erica
Yeah,
by myself. But I was like, nothing, I'm good. But I think I kind of want to do that. I
I would
mean,
love.
tickets are already purchased.
Yeah, it's literally just getting there and staying. And if we know far enough in advance, we should be able to get a way cheaper hotel because I don't think we paid near that much the last 2 times that. Well, the first time we stayed somewhere like in LA, but the last time when Clay and I went, and it was a dead weekend pretty much. Like we need to go on a dead weekend. It was so busy. Not as busy as it gets, I'm sure, but
Yeah, it was kind
it
of
was
busy.
busy.
I was shocked. I
It
mean,
was too.
it was my first time, but like I didn't
Just
know what
because
to
of the time
expect.
of year.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
bet
know
it's
what to
because of Oogie Boogie
expect.
Bash.
That too.
I did notice on my last day there, Sunday, you had left and I had gone to downtown Disney and it was pretty packed. And the closer it got to the middle of the day, it was more and more packed. But I also saw more and more people in costumes. So I think it was people waiting to use their Oogie Boogie Bash ticket to get in at like 3 or 4 whenever they let you in, even though it doesn't start till 7, they like let you in early. I think that was what it was. And I was like really overwhelmed with how many people were there. And so I kind of wonder if that was kind of like the norm for the weekend. But
Yeah.
that's the good thing about Disneyland is that it is smaller, but then it's also like, I don't know. I think a lot of locals go there. So then it's like full of people all the time, which I guess, I don't know, Disney World locals go to, I don't know. But so we went and got chicken tenders. And I think before that is when we tried to walk up to Blue Bayou. I had been trying forever to get Blue Bayou reservations and could not do it. So we walked up and to see, and they were like, check back later. We don't have anything right now. We're fully booked or whatever right now. We're like, okay. So we go do Haunted Mansion Holiday. It's my favorite ride. I loved it as much as I did last time. And I think you did too.
It was good. It was very good. It totally beats out Haunted Mansion at Disney World.
It's so good. And the just like in line, Jack and Sally, and I want to say this is new for this year, Jack and Sally came out onto the balcony. And not only there, but like somewhere else in New Orleans Square, because we couldn't really get a picture of them or anything, because they had like walked out where we were on the side of the Haunted Mansion, and then they went to the front and we couldn't really see them. Well, way later in the day, probably not way later, we saw them on a different balcony just somewhere in New Orleans Square, and that was a really cool character sighting. And that's something that we noticed, especially in DCA, is that the character sightings there, like Casey, you said you just went to Walt Disney World, and it wasn't like that.
Not at all.
It's crazy.
I mean, the only kind of character sightings that we got to see at all for our entire time was the cavalcades. And I think we only saw 2 when we were there. Disneyland had the best character sightings. Every time you turned your head, there were new characters that you hadn't seen, or characters in different costumes. And that was the icing on the cake for me.
I loved that too.
I know that there's people under there, but like, I can't help just think that when I'm seeing this is incredible, that like, it's her.
Yeah, I know. It's weird that even as an adult, you get as excited. And I was thinking about that on the way home. I'm like, I wonder how many of those characters thought we were strange. I'm sure they're used to it. Like, there are so many adults that go to Disney by themselves at Disneyland. Like, I feel like I didn't see that many kids. I mean, I saw a lot, but there were a lot of adults by themselves. But I think in Disneyland, that might be the only characters we really saw. But DCA had a ton. But after Haunted Mansion, again, a ride that went down, like we were literally, there was one woman in front of us waiting to get on, and then us, and it went down. And I mean, it was fine, but it quick. But that was just like first of many that we did not realize. So that ride had gone down. It was the first of many, and of course we didn't know that yet. And I think that, again, is something that really slowed down our day, because even though we tried to do single rider, since we don't have kids with us, like we were able to do single rider, stay in line the whole time. And there were times we were sat together on rides, like next to each other, like on Matterhorn. That's a whole story. Matterhorn. And then and then Haunted Mansion Holiday didn't have a single rider, but like anytime they did, we just stayed in line together the whole time. We might have been a little bit split up, but we were always on the same like vehicle. We always got off at the same time,
either right in front or right behind one another.
Yeah, so it's definitely worth it if you don't, if you aren't worried about that with kids and stuff, then you just do rider swap. But after that, like I really cannot remember. Maybe Pirates. We just spent some time in New Orleans Square. We rode Pirates. Casey didn't like Pirates. I remember liking it a lot more than I did this time. I didn't really like it this time. I think I really liked it the first time because it was a nostalgic type thing to be in that swamp scene in the beginning. And like, I know you said like there's not really a connection, and I don't think there is either. I mean, New Orleans has a pirate history, but like the whole swamp scene doesn't really go with that. Yeah. So I do like that scene, but I don't think it really goes with the rest of it. And the boats ram into each other 1,000 times.
Yeah. Right. I mean, we really get like whiplash. Yeah. But like, not only that, I felt like those 6 Valley Girl.
They were having a great time. And when people are having a good time, I'm like, don't be a bee just because they're having a good time. No, they were annoying. And they ruined the ride because we were in the very back row and we had all of them in front of us and they were loud. Like, you
weren't they initially behind us in line? Wasn't that the one that kept running into you?
Yes. So I don't even know. That they just put us in a row because the back row is smaller than the rest, and since it was just two of us, they put us in the back row.
Yeah,
And
they
they were
switched us
behind us.
around. We were supposed to
Yes.
be in their row, and then they were like, "Oh no, move back. We're gonna put them here."
Yeah, I forgot that they. I'm not too salty about it, but well, okay. So this is the thing. Like you said that they were bumping into me. There was one girl. They were all behind us, and it was like Casey and then me and then them. And this one girl in particular, and she kept bumping into me, and like that happens. It's fine. You're in a line, whatever. She had done it over and over and over, and I'm like, and finally I told Casey, I'm like, this girl can't stop bumping into me. And so finally she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, "Well, you've only done it like 6 times, but it's fine." And she was just like, "Oh," like I don't know what she did because I turned around. I was like,
Just your response and the look on your face, I was like, "Oh, she gonna get
I have
it."
a lot of patience until I don't. And when I don't, you have one chance before I lose it. And luckily she didn't do it again.
Oh my God, it was great.
Oh
It was
gosh.
really great.
So we passed Blue Bayou in the swamp scene. So if you don't know that, when you're at Disneyland and they're pirates, you're in New Orleans Square. So they have the swamp scene for New Orleans, but it's kind of like the Three Caballeros ride. And but that's not what it's called. What is it called? Something Fiesta. Grand Fiesta
Grand
Tour.
Fiesta tour.
Yeah. It's like that in Mexico and Epcot and Walt Disney World, in the sense that you are passing a restaurant on the ride and you see people eating, real people. So that restaurant is Blue Bayou, and that's the one we couldn't get into before. And was it after that ride? I think you were like, "You want to just go try and see?" Because even though we had ridden 2 rides, we were already starving again because it was like so long for 2 rides.
Yeah.
So Pirates didn't go down, I don't think, but it's just, it takes a while to load and unload, and that's why the boats ram and all that. So it just felt like a long time. So Casey said that, and we walked up, and they were like, "Yeah, we can seat you soon." And so we went and sat down, and literally, like we sat down. I started to open my backpack for something, and the guy comes and was like, "Erica," and we're like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, I had a table that just opened up on the water for you." And I was like, "This is the best day ever." And he like laughed at me, and he went and sat us by the water, which was awesome. So we got to like be kind of in the swamp scene, and like people were passing us by. And I remember this one time there were these college kids or something that passed by, and the girl goes, "Excuse me, miss," like just joking. And I looked at her, and she goes, like she didn't think I would actually hear her, like I wasn't a real person or something. And it was just like, okay. But for the most part, it's just like a quiet little thing, and it's so dim, and they have like cafe lights like you're outside, and we split the best sandwich ever.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. Like, I don't know why, but when they brought it out, so we got the Monte Cristo, and when they brought it out, they had it topped with powdered sugar, and I was like, I don't know about all that. Ham and cheese and like fried dough and girl, it made that sandwich. It just chef kisses.
Yes, it's
It
like
was so
it's
good.
like a ham and cheese melt in a beignet. And they had this, I don't know that you tried the jam, but they had like a good jam. I don't even know what fruit it was, but it was good. But I highly recommend splitting it, because it comes with something else, doesn't it? Oh, a salad. It had an arugula salad. Neither one of us were interested in that. It looked fine, but we just don't like arugula, so we didn't eat it. But we split that sandwich, and it came in like 3 big triangles, and it's like this thick, like ham, cheese, and beignet all over. And so we each had like 1 triangle and split one, and it was plenty. And you can order, I think, like a side of fries or something. I want to say when Clay and I did it, that's what we did, and I completely forgot about that till just now. But we didn't really need it. Did we get fries? I don't think so. So we got very lucky with that walk up.
So good.
Timing.
We tried the mint julep. Well, you've already had it.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was disgusting.
I forgot about that. I drank
so
2.
Sweet. I could have thrown up. It was way too sweet. Like,
It was very sweet.
Wow. And the sweetest waitress ever. She was like
Nancy.
a little grandma. Oh my God. I just loved her.
She was so sweet. That's what the guy said when he sat us. He was like, "I got you right by the water, and you're going to have the best server that we have had here. She's been here a while." And she was just like this little, like, older
was.
lady who looks like she probably has been there a while, and she just was like so like not shy, but just the daintiest little voice.
Yes, she was so, so nice.
I liked
We
her.
didn't have to ask for anything. The refills kept coming. And I
That
remember
you did not
asking, I
want.
was like, Erica, do I have to pay for this second one? And you're like, no, refills are free. And I was like, oh, thank God.
I'm paying for this crap. It tastes like syrup.
It
That's
was
not what she said, but
terrible.
that's what she wanted to say.
I don't think I've ever drank like my glass of water at a restaurant that they've just given me in the event that I need it. I sucked that water down.
You did. That was funny. I'm trying to think of what we did next. I think maybe that's when we kind of went over to the Matterhorn area.
Yeah.
So we had gotten in line for Matterhorn, which I knew was like the fourth mountain. And if you aren't familiar with it, it's a mountain roller coaster and the cars are bobsleds. And I think I knew this, but I completely forgot that there is a Yeti on this ride. So you might want to compare it to, what is it called in Animal Kingdom? I don't know why I can't
Mount
remember.
Everest.
Mount Everest. Thank you. But it's definitely different.
Way different.
Like, even though there's a Yeti and like, it's the storyline's different and the ride is different. And I didn't know what to expect. Casey definitely didn't know what to expect because she thought it was called the Matterhorn. And
yeah. Corn as in CORN.
We learned the other day, my kid's sitter told me that when it is tiny little hail, it's called corn snow. And I told Casey that, and she was like, oh yeah, it's probably from the Matterhorn. I died when you told me that. So that ride, we had gotten in line in single rider for, and it went very fast. I think like the wait time was 45 minutes and we waited, I don't know, 15 or 20, but the ride went down when we were, I think there was one or two people in front of us about to be called to go in the rows. And
well,
then
it was that boy and
kid.
he got called. And so I was up next and you were right behind me. And then that's when they unloaded everyone and told us to go to the other side.
So when you get on there, you have to go left or right. There's two sides of the mountain, so there's two tracks. And I didn't realize that either. And so where we were in line when this happened, you could see the track. It's where they unloaded and loaded, obviously, because like we were next. So there was some kind of like light that went off that told them something was wrong. So they had the people get out, or maybe they hadn't even gotten them out yet, but they basically like moved the bobsled to a different track, and these women had to like push it to a certain spot or whatever. So they had done this like 2 or 3 times. They just kept like rotating these bobsleds and unloading people and loading people. So then the area where all the rows were getting really crowded. This was happening really fast. Like I feel like they really did the best they could. And they sent all of us who were there to the other side of the mountain, like in the fast pass lane or something. I don't know. Somehow we were like right up front.
I think it was just like the regular single rider lane. Like we were all
for that side,
but on the opposite side. Yeah,
you're right. So then we just went to that side and it was fine. But because that happened, they didn't know who was single rider and who wasn't. So Casey and I got to sit together in the same car. You're not like next to each other, but so it just kind of worked out. But that was an intense ride. Like it bangs you around. And like that Yeti, when you're not expecting it, like we didn't even know a Yeti was on there. Like I said, I think now after the fact, I'm like, oh yeah, I think I remember seeing merch with it on it. So I must have known at some point, but I completely forgot. So we weren't expecting a Yeti, and it's kind of intense.
They had it twice in the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you get your back cracked, you get a concussion, you get a headache. I mean, you get it all in one with that ride.
Casey said you don't need to go to the chiropractor. You just go ride Matterhorn.
Yeah.
It'll crack you all up.
Oh my gosh. That was rough. It was good, but it was rough.
I think at that point we were like, okay, we're going to go do this and then we'll head over to DCA. And then we do that thing and be like, or something, we do something else before we did that thing. We'd be like, okay, we're just going to do this and then we'll go to DCA. Okay, this time we're just going to do this and then we'll go to DCA. And I can't even remember what we did after Matterhorn, except saw one cavalcade. We only saw one cavalcade the whole time, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah. It was Frozen.
Yeah, and I like Frozen, but it was just like me, like that's cool. But all they do is yell at you the whole time because people like they think people are going to get run over that are a mile away from the thing. Anyway, I'm sure that's just their job. They're just doing their job. But I think that's something too. Like I had remembered the cast members not being as friendly and magical in Disneyland as Disney World. This time was very different. Like there were some that were human and having a bad day or something, but most of them were really, really nice, especially in DCA.
Yes.
I think so. We can talk more about the guy when we get to the
Yeah.
I was about to say Tower Tier. You know, the jumpy one, the thingy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, what is wrong?
You're a teacher. Your brain is fried from this
So
week.
fried.
Give yourself a break.
So fried. So after that, I really don't remember. I think we went into like the It's a Small World toy shop, and that's where I found the penny thing. And like, I remember finishing that area, and I don't even know. We hadn't made it to Galaxy's Edge that day. We never went to DCA that day.
No.
We did wind up leaving early, but we did something.
We went to Disney Springs. We went and took photos over by
the castle.
No.
I think we did.
Yeah, we
took
some.
Our pens.
Yeah, we got those adorable little pens, and then that was the following day. That was at DCA. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say the movie with the memories, the core memories.
I know, Inside Out.
Yes. I was gonna say we went and took pictures over there, but that was totally our DCA day.
That was the next day. I don't know. I don't remember what we did, but I do remember we went to Disney Springs. We went to World of Disney, and I was like, I'm not buying anything. As soon as we got into Disneyland that day, I needed a park bag. All my stuff was in Casey's, and she would have been fine, but like I wanted an excuse to get a lounge fly. I don't have it with me. I filmed my Disneyland shopping haul and forgot about that lounge fly, and it's like the most expensive thing about it. But anyway, I got that, and I was like, I can't. Like, I bought a few other things that day. I'm not gonna buy anything. I bought a sweatshirt when we went to World of Disney, and I love it. I don't regret it. And then, did you get anything? You didn't get anything that night.
No.
PC has a lot more like self-control than I do.
I mean, if I had money, I surely wouldn't have self-control. I don't have money. I have a fine wine taste on a water budget.
Yeah, well, I didn't have as much as I spent. Well, okay, this is the thing. I had Visa gift cards and stuff. I kept forgetting to use them. And then I wanted to wait to get stuff the next day until we got Clay's gift card. So then I just didn't buy anything. And then it was just like everything was closed. Anyway.
Which I feel like you need to explain that gift card, like when we get to DCA, or I mean, when we talk about going back to Disneyland, because I never knew that existed. And I think that's seriously the coolest thing ever.
It was really cool. Okay, so then let's talk. Well, okay, that night we went to World of Disney. We got smoothie bowls. We went back to the hotel. They melted. We both were too tired to sip a smoothie bowl off of a spoon. So neither one of us finished it, even though we were hungry. We were so tired. We were in bed probably by 9:00.
Yeah.
It was a lot, but we had a great time. And so if you like, just stop me if I'm talking too much and you want to talk.
Stop. You're fine.
So the next day we got up and we were dropped off at the other entrance this time for downtown Disney. And we met Joey, who was the coolest security guy who checked our bags. He was just like being sarcastic and like messing around with everybody, but not in a rude way. Like he was just joking around, and like he was so funny. And he thought that my tripod was a crab. He was like, "What's that?" I was like, "Oh, that's a tripod." Okay. It freaked me out. It looked like a crab. Like it was just like fun stuff like that. And then Casey had a really good interaction with him too. So like we were trying to figure out, I need to look into it more, if there's a way to like give cast member shout outs for Disneyland cast members. There's a few, and he's one of them that we want to be like, they were great.
I'll tell you, our trip in September to Disney World, like, couldn't even hold a candle to this trip to Disneyland. The cast members at Disney World, granted, I know it's like a very hard time. Everyone's going through a lot the last couple of years with COVID, losing their jobs, getting their jobs back. But like you had brought up in Disneyland, it's about the way that you go about handling the situation and carrying yourself. And just Disney World, the cast members were not great. they weren't friendly. They were too busy, like, what do they call it? Sidebarring, like having
Oh
totally
yeah.
different conversations with cast members that weren't even work related. Like just like a whole ton of personal and like private conversations.
Right.
They didn't acknowledge you. They didn't say anything. And it just, I kind of felt like the magic was gone. And
Yeah,
then
it
with
sounds like it's definitely
Disneyland, we had so many amazing interactions with cast members. We didn't have any bad ones. There were a few where like they didn't really say anything at all, but we had so many good interactions.
yeah, it was nice. It was nice to see that. I
Yeah.
hate that it switched. And like you said, like people are going through a lot and stuff like that. But there's only so much that's an excuse, especially when it comes to sidebar conversations and stuff like that. Like just even working in retail, like when I was younger, like that's something that you had to be really careful about. So you think about a standard of Disney World that it shouldn't be like that. And not that that's the biggest thing or the end of the world or like there's definitely worse things. But when you think about going to Disney, you think about magic. And cast members are called cast members because they're putting on a show. And
Yeah.
so if they're not there putting on their show, they're taking away from that magic. And so luckily, like you said, like we had great interactions.
Yeah.
And Joey was just hilarious.
Well, see, I've seen like a lot of stuff on Facebook where like people will vent their frustrations about like not seeing the magic within the cast members. And then you have really rude people that comment on there and they're like, well, the magic comes within, like you create your own magic. I
To an
agree with
extent,
that to a point, but at the same time, like you said, they're cast members for a reason. Never have I ever been to Disney until September where I have had such awful interactions with cast members.
it's sad.
And it's very sad because it does take away the magic,
Yeah, it does.
you
Every
know?
little thing about Disney is like one big show. And so if something goes wrong, that kind of ruins the rest of the show.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Oh, when we got down to Disney, we went to Starbucks.
God,
Just
I'm so sorry.
no, you do not need to be sorry. Maybe if you're going to Disneyland and you have a whole family of people who need a snack, bring your snacks. Don't order them all from Starbucks when the park is opening. And
Yeah.
then you have 40-minute, I don't know, it's probably 30-minute waits for a croissant because that's what happened. We went to Starbucks. There's two. So we did the one closer to the monorail station and the Lego store.
And it
And
was less
drinks were
busy than the other
fast.
one.
Yes, the other one was even busier, so I can't imagine. But the food was going to take a while. And I heard him tell someone else that. I don't know if he told you that or not.
No,
He had told someone
you
else
did.
that, but I was thinking like sandwiches or, like
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
So it took like at least 30 minutes for Casey to get her croissant. We got our drinks fast, but it took like at least 30 minutes for the croissant. And it was just like, you could see them handing like handle bags full of food to people. And that's what was holding it up. And it was just like, everyone needs their snack, like just like you wanted a croissant. And normally I would have gotten something too, but I usually get a sandwich. And that's why I didn't get it because I thought that's what it would be. Well, I don't know. I just feel like maybe bring snacks if your entire family needs it. I don't know. I'm just like being picky now, I guess, but it was a long time. And it wasn't even any like workers' fault. It wasn't Starbucks' fault. It was just like way too many orders of food, like bags of food.
Yeah.
And I just didn't get it. So I don't know, we probably made it into DCA right after that at like 9 o'clock ish. So like an hour after park opening. We just pretty much walked. Well, that was when we got in line and we like had waited there for a little while. And the lady was like, oh, this isn't a line. And we're like, oh, well, that would have been nice to know like 10 minutes ago because we were at a turnstile and she was helping someone with their tickets. So like, I don't know. So we got in a different line. We went in and I think we instantly saw Minnie and Daisy, right?
Yeah.
It was just like the beginning of the best day, seeing the characters that like we associate ourselves with. They were dressed in their costumes. Minnie was like a flapper, maybe. What was she? I can't remember.
I thought like she was some sort of like a Greek Like, I don't
Oh,
know.
like a fortune teller or something.
Like she had like some crazy like
Like
I'll find the
jewel.
photo.
Okay, I think you're right. And then Daisy, I think was, I don't even know, a witch maybe.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Daisy looked really freaking cute.
She was so cute.
Minnie
It was so
wasn't my
nice.
favorite. Like the
It wasn't.
costume just wasn't my favorite.
Oh yeah. So when you walk in, there's like different ways to go, but if we just went straight, and there was like this little like garden platform area, and every time we passed it there were new characters. I think one time or two times. Oh yeah. Yeah,
I
she looks like a fortune teller flapper. I'm not sure what
yeah,
she's supposed to be.
I don't know either. It was rough.
But it was cool. I think I know, for me, I don't know about for kids, I prefer this method of seeing characters. You don't have to wait in a long, long line. Daisy. Yeah, she was good. So cute. You don't have to wait in a long, long line. You get to, they even tell you, like, if you're like staying back a little bit, the cast members walk around and they're like, go right up. You just go right up and take your picture. And like you go up to a rope and they are right there and they will interact with your camera, like as you saw, like with Daisy's picture.
Yeah.
They just interact with you still, and you can still have conversations with them. The only thing I think might be harder for kids is that if they want to go up and hug them, that's literally the only thing that they can't do. Well, they can't sign a book right now either, but I think that part would be nice for kids, but then maybe only do those things at like character spot or whatever,
Yeah.
and then have these type of interactions. I hope this stays, because we saw so many characters that I don't think we ever would have interacted with if you had to wait in a line for them. And it was quick. Everyone was respectful. Everyone went up, took their picture, and got out of the way for the most part. So
See, I was going to say that was when I saw that, that was probably the one thing in my head that I was thinking this is going to be a total disaster, is that people would be fighting over like who's going to take a picture. And it wasn't. Everyone was so respectful.
yeah,
You snapped your picture and then you just moved on. Like it
yeah.
wasn't a whole 10-minute thing. It
You know
was
who
just nice.
I just remembered, I forgot who we saw. We saw Oswald at one point. Like you
Yes.
got to see cool characters too. Dopey was out there at one point. It was
Yep.
Dopey and Pluto. We saw Minnie and Daisy. We saw Oswald was by himself.
Hmm.
I feel like there was someone else. Minnie, in a totally different area in Avengers Campus, came out. We have no idea where she went. We lost track of her, but she came out in like a pink and black dress with like a black spider on it for Spider-Man. It was
Hmm.
so cute. And just like seeing those things and starting our day that way just like really set the tone for the day. And it was
Yeah.
awesome. I think from there we went to Pixar Pier and rode Incredicoaster. Single rider line took us, I don't know,
Love
15,
it.
20 minutes. And the line was at least, I think it was 45 to 60-minute wait regular.
Mhm.
And we just like hopped right on, and we were in the same vehicle. So we got on and off at the same time. Um, another great way to start the day, like a thrill ride that was just so cute at the same time.
I loved it. It was very, very good. Very
So
good.
I just want to write it like right now.
And then we stopped and got Jack Jack Cookie Num Num
Yeah,
after.
we split one of those with milk, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was good. It was a good cookie, but it wasn't like like I've never had Gideon's, but I have a feeling it's not like, oh my god, like you've got to go to Gideon's and try this cookie because it's so
Yeah.
amazing. It was just like a decent cookie.
It was
Oh, we
okay.
tried it,
I
but
would never get it again.
no, I don't think
Nope.
it's one of those things you even have to get just once.
Yeah.
No,
Pass. Totally
no,
pass for me.
I agree. Then that we kept going to Mickey Fun Wheel. Well,
Pixar
Pixar
Power
Pal Around.
Round. Oh my God. I hate it.
Okay, so that line was longer than it said it was going to be. It said
Yeah.
it was like a 5-minute wait. We waited at least 20, I would
Maybe
say.
even longer. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get on, and it's like you don't even get to go around one full time without stopping. Like they just are constantly stopping it to load. So I think we went halfway around once without stopping, and it was just like we went in the swinging one. So they have stationary ones that's just like a regular Ferris wheel, and then we have the swinging carts. And we got in the swinging one, and thank God, or I would have been miserable the whole time. Like it wouldn't have been fun at all because we weren't moving. But that thing, like every now and then when we stopped, it would swing back and forth, and it was like that
That was
part was
really
pretty fun.
fun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If it could just like go, that'd be
Yeah.
nice. So that's another thing, like, I don't even know if that's a, like, I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe you have to do it once just to do it because it's the Mickey fun wheel. But I don't care to ever ride it again.
Yeah, me neither. Not unless like I could be guaranteed that I could go around one full time without stopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
right
we
before
saw
that.
we
Yeah.
saw Bo Peep. We
Yeah.
saw Mrs. Incredible.
Hmm. That was so fun. We were in line for Incredicoaster when Mrs. Incredible came out, like by the water, like just across the road. Not that it's a road. And like we each just took turns getting out of line and like going to take a picture with her. And that was a fun one.
That's the girl. Yep.
Yes. And then Bo Peep was, they had like a Pixar stage and different characters would come out. And when we were on the fun wheel, we saw that Woody and Jesse had come out, I think. And so we didn't get to meet them, but I mean, they constantly just were rotating characters. And we did get to kind of meet Bo Peep, and she was.
That was very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Just I love the whole character sightings that we got to see. I was really blown away. I didn't think it would be that good. I didn't have high expectations at all for Disneyland, and I'm a lover.
Yeah,
Goodbye,
so
Disney
glad.
World. Hello,
Yeah,
Disneyland.
I love it too. I'm trying to think. Oh, after that is when we went to the Inside Out area.
Yeah.
And we didn't go ride the ride, but they have a wall. So we thought about getting in line because I'm pretty sure it was a short wait. So we thought about getting in line to take a picture in front of the feelings wall, but we didn't have to because we realized when we got over there that there was a feelings wall right outside of it with Disgust standing out there. They have such good photo ops, and there are so many that you didn't even see. They have a wall of Buzz Lightyear wings somewhere in, I don't know if it's in DCA or in Disneyland. And then they have an up house where you can pretend you're holding the balloons. Yeah. I don't know if they're still there or not. They were there last time we went, but they trade them out. And then they like the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse doors, or Toontown doors, I think, are supposed to be like a good backdrop. We missed a lot. Like, we've got to go back and use our other 2 days and try to make it a point to do everything we didn't do. But just like want to ride Incredicoaster again. And, and Monsters After Dark, or Guardian Galaxy without Monsters After Dark.
So let's like do this in December as opposed to Disney World, Disney Springs.
I'm okay with that. I mean, we already have our tickets. We just have to find the weekend. If I can convince someone to come watch my kids the weekend that Clay is out for drill, I'll see what I can do.
And if he goes back to a regular schedule, that would mean that Thursday's his last like work day of the week. So I could just fly in on a Thursday night again.
That'd be nice.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to go back. Okay, what did we do after that? We went to that point and we didn't go any farther around. So this is something else that you missed. Have Goofy Sky School that we missed. Then they have the swings that you saw, and then the Zeppelin's Zephyr ride that you saw, and then the Ariel's Adventure that you saw. We didn't go walk around or do any of that. I don't know that there's any other rides over there except those. So it's more of like a kid area, and I think they have like more quick service like pizza and stuff. So we instead turned around and went to Avengers Campus. Like, we couldn't wait anymore. That's why we didn't go. We were like, we've got to go. Like, we just want so bad to go see Avengers Campus. It was fun.
We walked in, and sure enough, we immediately saw Spider-Man.
That's right. He had just finished his show, so we did miss the show. We never did catch it again, but he was doing his little like meet and greet after it.
Yeah. We saw Thor and Loki.
Yes, that was like towards the end of our day, and it was so fun. Like, a bunch of cast members so they're up on like the balcony of the building that they work at, and they had cast members down at the bottom, and they were like joking back and forth with Loki and Thor. It was just very like they were doing what you expect. And so at one point, one of the chicks goes, "Who's here to see Loki?" Or, "Who are you here for?" And like everyone was like, Loki. And like that's all anyone said, except one person goes, "Thor." And she was like,
it was a little boy.
Finally. Yeah, a little boy.
And she was like, "You're going places in life, kid."
Yeah. She was funny. And it was cool because it wasn't like the character experience wasn't just the characters, like the cast members were really making that experience. And so I'm so glad we saw them. That's something that we kept saying. I know we both really wanted to see Loki, and you really wanted to see Black Widow, and we were in line for Pym's test kitchen, and so we only saw Black Widow from afar, like very quickly, and she was with Ant-Man. But then like Wasp at some point had come out on the balcony. I don't know if there was anyone else. Oh, Black Panther. Did we
Oh
see?
yeah. Black Panther was out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was on top too. Most of them come out on the balcony, but Black Widow and Ant-Man had come down to do like a lower, like on the ground type thing.
Yeah.
So we had gone there, and we had debated back and forth about when we were going to try to get on the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, because like the wait time was just like, it was kind of going up and down, but anytime we had a chance to go, it was going back up. So we didn't do it yet. We wound up trying to find Pym's test kitchen, and we found the bar. And so then we kept walking, and we found an eating area that I'm so glad that we found, because eventually we realized if we just would have like looked like this way just a little bit while we were at the bar, there was like the food part of Pym's test kitchen. So we went back, we waited in line, and got the buffalo, I don't remember what it's called, atomic something, but it was like a buffalo chicken pretzel. What's it called? I don't know, I can't remember anything.
So good.
It was very good. And then we got, was that it? That's all we ate that time?
Yeah, that's all that we had. Just like a quick snack, we split it.
Yeah. And that's something else like I would totally recommend too, is if you want to try a bunch of things, split everything. Like, it's, even if it doesn't fill you up, it's fine, you just go split something else, because
That's what we did.
yeah,
Yeah.
you just want to try everything. So we thankfully found that other seating place, because there's not a ton of seating. There's a good bit, but there's not a ton of seating at Pym's Test Kitchen. So we went back to the place we accidentally went to before,
Which
and we ate there.
Yeah, it had like a giant sign for Pym's Test Kitchen.
Yeah.
It was like, I guess, I don't know, like
It
part
must
of
like,
it.
yeah, like the overflow or something.
Yeah.
And it was nice because there's lots of trees, so we just sat in the shade and we ate, and the
It
guy
was
just
very
came up
nice.
that worked there, came and took our tray. And
Yeah, that was very, very nice.
I think after that we just kind of like explored. We went into the store, the only store that we really saw, and it was like all Spider-Man stuff. They had a couple booths that I remember seeing in videos, but I only noticed one, like the one by the shawarma cart that like said shawarma on the shirt. Like, there just wasn't a lot of Avengers merch other than Spider-Man stuff, which was weird.
They had Spider-Man, and then they had that was back at Pixar Pier. I was about to say they had incredible stuff, but
Oh yeah, that's sure. Yeah. What else? Oh, we went and did some photo. They have really cute photo ops that are over there too. They had a WandaVision TV set, like 2 or 3 different TVs stacked on each other, but you could take a picture like it's just one if you wanted. And like the couch, everything's in black and white. You go sit on the couch and take a picture, and like you're in color, and that was fun. And that's where we saw Minnie coming out, and then we didn't know where she went. They had the Falcon and the Winter Soldier set up, so it had like Captain America's shield with like the wings, and so that was a fun photo op. I feel like there was another one.
There was, but I can't remember what it was.
No. It was just such a cool, like, what I was telling Casey when we were there, it's not like Star Wars Galaxy's Edge where you walk in and you feel fully immersed in a new world. But that makes sense because Avengers Campus is a campus on Earth where these superheroes are living in conjunction with normal people. Like, it's on Earth. So it made sense. And like the Tower of Galaxies, Guardians of the Galaxy is gorgeous.
Yes.
It's very well themed. Excuse me. The building where they are supposedly like all work and stuff, and like they all come out on the balcony and stuff, it looks like a business building, like very modern. I don't know, like it wasn't it wasn't disappointing in any way.
No,
it just wasn't like you didn't feel like you're in a different world, because you're not.
Yeah, so, I loved it.
Yeah, it was
going back to Guardians of the Galaxy. So we waited forever. Finally got to go because the overlay was changing, so they shut down for an hour.
Yes.
And we were like, what, 15 minutes out from them reopening, and then they decided to go ahead and open the gates.
Yes, we were at the gate other than like 2 people in front of us.
Yeah.
And there were people already in the queue from before, so they shut down for an hour, and I thought it was at 5:00 that they did this, so I felt really bad because I've been talking this up about how fun it is to have like the soundtrack blared in your ears the whole time. But they don't do that. They still blast stuff in your ears, but it's not the soundtrack for Monsters After Dark. Well, they change it between 2 and 3. And so it was opening at 3, and I was like, okay, let's go back. But I felt really bad because we were not going to see the original one. So it's something else we have to go back for.
Yes.
And ride again is the regular one. But we got kind of lucky in that sense because the wait, once they officially put the wait time back up, was 90 minutes, which was actually very low compared to the rest of the day. It was like 105 was the other lowest time all day, I think, except for when they first opened. And then we waited maybe half that because we weren't in the very back of the line.
I thought it only took us like 30 to 45 minutes.
So like I would say half that at the most is how long it took, which 45. And that's such a well themed ride too. Like the queue is really cool. Most of it actually isn't themed until you get inside the building, but right before you walked in, there's a statue of the collector, and then you go in and it's like you're in his collection. Like you see these big glass cases with all these things he's collected, and you have like the pre-show little film thing on top, the screen that they're showing you, and then there's an actual pre-show with Rocket, which I didn't tell you about. Were you surprised about that?
I was. He's so cute. I love him. Cute. He's just so funny. He's a good character. I like him.
He is. He's hilarious. And that's one cool thing. Like, so this whole like world problem with illness that's going on right now has changed some things for the good. Like, I don't know if maybe this adds to wait times. I'm sure it does. But riding that ride before, you are crammed into that room. They fill every space, kind of like with Haunted Mansion and the stretching room. They fill every space. They didn't do that this time. We had like plenty of room to breathe. They only filled like half the room. And so we weren't all squished with everyone. You could really see everything happening in the pre-show, which wasn't a ton. It was all like in one area, but you can look around in like the cases and stuff. And that's just something that I think is worth, like, it can't add that much time, I guess. I don't know. But I think that's something else that I really enjoyed, is not being like crammed in this tiny room with people I don't know, regardless of anyone being sick. Like, I just don't like being that close to people.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
It was.
This is where we met. Tell me about the cast member. I can't remember his name. Jake, Josh, something with a J. I have the picture.
I think the picture's on your phone. Which
I need to send that to you.
Yeah, we need to like put together a I don't know, like a Google thing. Yes. I don't know how to do that, but so that way we can just drop all the pictures from the vacation. Yeah, but yeah, he was really nice. He was just absolutely awesome. He played a good role.
He did. He was just like he like you said, like played a good role. He was kind of I don't want to say in character, but like fully going with the storyline.
Yes.
Even though he's just loading us on the car. His name was Mark, not Jake, Josh. Or nice. So I wish you could see the back more.
Huh?
I wish you could see the back of us more, not the back of us, but what's behind us, because he took a picture with just us. Everyone else had gone with the ride vehicle in the back of us. See if I can get it to turn. I don't know if it's going to show.
He was so nice. Stuff.
There we go. He was really nice.
He was. I stopped him and I was like, hi, we're travel agents. And I really want to put out there that, like, you know, I feel like there's a lot of cast members that just aren't so magical anymore, and you are, and I would love to get a photo with you so I can blast it on social media.
Yeah. And he was like, awesome. Oh.
Yeah, he was very shocked.
Yeah, like that he was one of the good ones or something, and I don't know.
Yeah.
He was just really nice. And
I mean, even at the end though, he was like, look, it's a hard time for all of us right now. Like, he was just so down to earth. And
he really was.
And
that has to be one of the most stressful positions to be in, is loading people, because you have to like remember numbers and like how many can still fit and like try to make it work for everybody. And then like some people have requests and like you're responsible for making it quick.
Yeah.
And I would not be able to do that. Like, so the fact that he can do that and like keep himself together, he was just like, yeah, that's what I do.
He was awesome. He was really, really awesome. He was tall. Oh my God, was he tall?
Was very tall.
Very awesome. I liked them.
I'm trying to think, what else did we do after that? I think we went and explored. Oh, we went to Sauron.
Oh yeah. Okay.
We went to Sauron, and thank goodness we did. I don't know if you noticed how long the line was when we left. It was like when you walk into the building, you pass what looks like that national park sign. So it's like you basically pass a fence and then you're like on the area of the ride and you go in the queue. It was out into the main street past, I think, to the bathroom or past the bathroom that you went to after.
I didn't see.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, oh, thank goodness we went when we did, because we didn't wait very long. And it's just such a good ride. The smells. We had good seats too. We were like on the edge of our vehicle, but it wasn't like we were kind of center, it felt like.
Yeah. I was on the very edge. Then there was an out of commission seat, and then it was you.
Yeah. It was just a good ride. I hadn't ridden, and I don't think the last time we went to Walt Disney World I rode it. So it's been a really long time, and we didn't ride it when we went to Disneyland last. So it's like I forgot about the smells. All I remembered was if you didn't get a really good seat, how much you could really see the edge of the screen. And then I also remembered like the wind, and I like was ready for the wind. And then when the smells hit me, I was like, yes, I forgot about this. I don't know what else we did. We didn't do the water ride over there. I think maybe we went to Cars Land after that. Or no, it was dark when we went.
Yeah. We had Pims again. So
oh, that's right.
I don't know if we did that right after or
I don't know. I would definitely recommend eating at Pim's because we had the giant pretzel and the Pimini.
Oh my God.
They were both so really good. We split those two. And so that pretzel and the video that we have, I'll have to see if I can at least get like a screen grab of it at some point. But the pretzel is like this big. Like it's bigger than my head. Yeah.
It came with delicious beer cheese.
You could tell. That's another thing about Pim's too, is that not only is it like cool to have a big pretzel and stuff like that, but everything else that we tried, we really only tried 2 other things. Everything looked really good and everything tasted really fresh. Like that pretzel was fresh. It wasn't over salty either. And then the pimnini was fresh, and it came with like a marinara that was almost like a tomato jam, not sweet or anything, but like it was fresh. And then that beer cheese, you could tell was homemade. Like you could taste that it was made with like a flour or something, and like it was
very good.
Oh my gosh,
I highly recommend Pem's Kitchen. And see, that's what shocked me, because I have read so many mixed reviews on Pem's, like good and bad, probably mostly bad. And we just gave it a shot, and that was by far like
it was
one of the best places I've ever eaten. I loved it.
It was so good. Oh, something else we ate before Cars Land at some point was the corn. And it was buttery. And you order it as elote so that you also get tahine, which has a very distinct flavor. You either love it or you hate it, and Parmesan. And so Casey
and mayonnaise. They gave you mayonnaise too.
Oh, and mayonnaise, and we just didn't use that because you're supposed to use crema. You're not supposed to use mayonnaise. I guess that's the closest thing. I don't know, but I was not touching that mayonnaise. I eat it with crema. I don't eat it.
I didn't touch it.
No, we didn't even like open it and try it. So Casey, you liked the tahine sort of with the corn and Parmesan.
Yes.
But only a tiny bit.
Yes. And not by itself. Oh my God, it was horrendous.
It's so tart. So tart. I love it. So, which is weird because I don't like tart stuff. I don't know how I like it. But even like just the corn was so buttery.
It was good.
You just put that Parmesan cheese and it just sticks to it.
That, and it was so hot, it melted off your skin.
Yeah, it was hot. I forgot how hot it was. So it was fresh.
Yeah. It was blazing.
Yeah. I think that's what we ate there, huh?
Then we had our alcoholic drinks over at the Adorable Snow. Was that what it was? The Adorable?
Yeah.
We had the Abominable.
And we crossed it out. Yeah. So you can get different treats there, non-alcoholic, but you can also get them made into margaritas. And that's what we did. We got that out after, like when we were leaving Pixar Pier. And so mine had tahine on it. It was like a chili mango, but I liked it. It was really good. I did like yours better.
Yeah, I had the Pixar Pier float. Instead of the lemon, I had the mango. And then it came with was it
Carousel.
blue carrot? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I feel like it was like something mixed in like blue, some
I
kind
thought
of
it
blue
was blue
sauce.
coconut.
Yeah, maybe so. It had like the blue carousel alcohol with, was that the only alcohol in it?
Hmm.
And then mine had tequila, I think. Very good.
So
Highly
good.
recommend.
I did not like yours.
I I actually the mango on top of it with the tahini I didn't like. Like I liked it mixed in with everything else, like in the mango soft serve, but I didn't love it on the tahini. And overall, I definitely still liked yours better, even though I usually like love that kind of stuff. I'm trying to think, is there anything else we ate?
Oh, by the way, just because we're talking about that, they also had the photo op with the Jeep.
Oh, at Avengers Campus.
Yes.
Yes, that's
Just
right.
because those girls stopped and they were like, oh my God, what are your drinks? Where did you
Yeah,
get them?
that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Because I know we
Yeah,
were
that's a good
like, well,
one.
there's definitely another photo op, but I don't remember what it was. That's what it was.
That is, you're right. That was a good one. I liked that one.
It was.
And that's another thing, like those big things, like that takes up a lot of space, but people were pretty respectful of like if they saw you trying to take a picture, they got out of your way. Like no one was chilling in the wrong spot or anything. I don't know what else we did before we went to that might be it before we finally went to Cars Land.
Yeah.
We got a churro. It's no, that's not true.
Mm-mm.
We
We
thought about
talked about it. We
it.
talked
Yeah.
about that and popcorn. We never did either.
So many snacks we said we were gonna try.
I know.
I
Like,
don't feel like we ate that much, but and we split everything, but we still got really full really fast.
I think it had a lot to do with the fact that we were just so tired that like our bodies just didn't care if we ate or not.
It
It
was
just
like
made
I don't
sense.
want to use any energy I have to make you eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's probably true. Well, then eventually we went to Cars Land and it had the sun had just set and it was dark. And so it was all lit up and you could see at the end the Radiator Springs and
Oh,
all the neon lights.
prior to we had to go
Oh,
back to the hotel. That's what took up
that
most of
is
the time. Yeah.
because your phone was about to die and you didn't
It was
have your
like
cord.
2%. And we
And
still had to
I,
order an Uber.
yes, oh gosh, yes. Thank God that worked out. And
Yeah.
my phone did die and my camera batteries, no, my camera battery had died and I didn't grab my one I charged. So I was like, you know what? Well, first we tried to go buy a cord. We were all over the place trying to buy a cord. And they were like, we actually don't sell them on property anymore. Like you had to go out of Disneyland and across the street, the main road of Anaheim to get a freaking cord. And we were like, okay, at that point, like, let's just go back to the hotel. So we did, we got our cords, we got the camera battery, like took Casey brushed her teeth, I think, like did like a good refresh because all the freaking corn that like gets stuck in your teeth. Like it was a good break to like refresh. And I think we changed.
Yes.
And then we went back and that's when we went to Cars Land. I forgot that we went back to the hotel.
Oh, we did web slingers too. How could we
Oh,
forget?
duh. So yeah, that had a virtual queue, but you still waited in a long actual queue.
Yeah.
It was okay. I would say that is one of those things you should do once.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Kind of like you were saying, like you do it again with Justin and the kids, but
Yeah.
me.
I mean, I'm just gonna say I kicked everyone's butt.
She
Just
really did. Like I thought she was just like talking smack. No, she's good at it. Even that's something else we did. Alien Ranger Spin or whatever. That Buzz Lightyear ride kicked my butt
Yeah.
in that too. Like
Yeah.
she is really good at it. So she kicked everyone in the vehicle because we rode with two other people on the same side of our vehicle. And she
Smoked
got way
y'all.
more points than any of us
And I
did.
was like, I was just doing one arm at first. And then I
Yeah.
noticed everyone was doing two. And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. So you use your own arms to swing it. And yeah, like she said, she was only doing one. And so even after like the first whole screen of only doing one arm, she still kicks all of our butts. Okay. You know what? Me and Justin need to ride together because we would like have a chance of possibly beating each other, and then you and Clay should ride together because he also is really good at that stuff, and see,
I
because
would love to smoke
we
Clay.
need to get in our own league.
Yep. I will smoke his butt.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. I guess we should all go back. Okay, I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, Cars. Then eventually we went to Carsland, and it was beautiful. And we rode Radiator Springs Racers, and that was really fun. And we didn't eat anything there. We had a few photo ops. That was decorated for Halloween. Really cool. I really like that.
I felt like I was really in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, it was awesome. I loved it. The cozy cones. That's what we were supposed to get, the mac and cheese cone at one of the cozy cones, but then we were just like, I'm stuffed from Tim's.
Okay, another thing to know about cozy cones, they are all mobile order only, at least right now. So we like got in line to order, and someone in front of us asked, like, is this mobile order only? And they were like, yeah. So you have to mobile order, and then the mobile order window wasn't close enough to get it right then. So we put it off longer than we really needed to, as far as like we could have gotten it sooner according to the app, but not with our plans. So we waited, and then we were too full and we didn't get it. But they had in front of, what was it? I don't remember. Oh, in front of the cozy cones, they had Mater dressed up as a vampire, and he's like a moving car that talks and stuff. So he's not there all the time. Like, they take him out as a character.
That was cute.
That was so fun. And he talks to you, but like, we couldn't figure out how it worked. Like, was there someone on the inside? Probably, but were they hitting buttons, or does he just program to say things? Because like some of the times when he said something, it didn't really make sense with the situation. So I don't know how that one works, but it was still really cute and really fun.
It was.
And then they had a photo op of like a sugar skull car in front of Ramones. That was really cute. And then they have like the power lines going down the street, and those were decorated as like little monster faces with traffic cones. It was just so cute. It's one of those, like you said, you felt like you were there. It's like very immersive.
I loved it. I just felt like Disneyland was so spot on with like all of their Halloween decorations, and just they outdid themselves on details.
They really did. I just like could live there.
I can't wait to go back.
It's all so cute. I think after that's when we went to Disneyland. After Cars Land, we went to Disneyland. And that's when like I was on a mission to get Clay's gift. Two things he requested: the metal spork that apparently you can only get at Docking Bay 7. We were told Docking Bay 9, which apparently doesn't exist. And I like we were trying to find it, and 2 different people at 2 different places told us Docking Bay 9. Yeah. And then finally someone was like Docking Bay 7. And I'm like, oh, well, I know where that is. And then they close like 2 hours before the park closes. So that was weird. But that's the only place to get the metal sport. So I couldn't get it. So then he wanted this gift card. It is a metal gift card. It's like this big. You have to know about it and ask for it. It's not on display. You can only get it at Droid Depot. And so we went over there and asked for it. And the guy opened the drawer and he saw some, and he was like, well, this isn't where it's supposed to be. So I have to call and make sure I'm actually allowed to sell you this. And I was like, okay. And so he called, and whoever he talked to was like, yeah, it's fine. So you have to load at least $100 on it. And it's a $5 activation fee. But he even still was like, yeah, I mean, it's basically to pay for the card, because it's like a solid piece of metal. And I don't know where it is. Like, Clay has it somewhere. I wish I could show it. I also in the Disneyland hall was like, I'm just going to put a picture because I don't know where he put it. So I loaded it with $100 using $100 Visa. And that's what I was holding out on doing before I went and bought any other stuff. Cause like I wanted to be able to use the gift card money, because he didn't care about the money on it. He just wanted the card. So we were able to get that. But yeah, just so you know, like it's a really cool souvenir. If you're already going to spend money, go ask for it early in your trip. Load it up with the money, and then you can use it. And they just like scan the back. There's like a little barcode on it, but it was really, really cool. And even cooler because it's like a hidden secret. You have to know about it and you have to ask for it. So that was kind of fun. And then we did a few other things in Galaxy's Edge. It was really close to park closing, and we had a few things we wanted to do. We didn't get a Rise boarding pass.
No.
So we rode Smugglers Run, and we got lucky. We were pilots. And we didn't do single rider, but they have it. But the line was so short. There was like the very end of the fireworks show when we got to Disneyland. So we were able to just go straight there. We eventually, I don't know if it was before or after we did the whole gift card thing, we got in line and we got to see the whole queue, which I have never seen before. And Casey had never seen before. So it was cool to see like that animatronic. I remember that being a really big deal. Excuse me, when that ride came out, because it was like a new technology or something, and he was really cool. And then we got to be pilots, and the last time I rode it, I wasn't a pilot, and it was fun, but it was definitely way more fun being a pilot. And Casey and I did not do a very good very good job of driving the spacecraft.
We got our licenses out of a gumball machine.
Yes, the people with us were probably like, yes, why'd they make them the pilots? Like, they didn't say that to our faces, but I wouldn't be like, it wouldn't be upsetting if they did, because it's true. So it was fun. It's just one of those like, yeah, that was cool. Like, not a, oh my gosh, you have to ride this.
Yeah.
It's just like a simulator ride.
That's a pass for me next time.
Yeah. I could go either way. I don't love it, but I'm like, I'll write it if you want to. Like, I wonder if Orson could maybe write it next time. He's 39 inches now, or like, grow one more inch, please grow one more inch. It'll get you into like that many more rides.
It's true. It makes a world of a difference. Oliver's 41 inches. And once he hit that 40-inch mark, I mean, he could ride a lot.
I hope by February. After that, we ride something else after that? Or did we just go straight to trying to get to the shops?
Yeah, I think that's what we did.
We
because
went
the
to the
fireworks
shops.
show was over. And
Yeah.
so we needed to make sure that we got what we needed out of Disneyland.
Or it closed. It was closing.
Yeah.
So we were able to see the castle all lit up. We got a couple cool pictures of it. We checked a few stores, got a couple things we were looking for, and then like we closed the park. And we didn't take a picture with the Mickey pumpkin really, because there was still a line, like people as they were going out were getting in line. So we took a picture of the Mickey pumpkin. We just didn't get a picture with the monkey. I think we might have taken a selfie, but I don't think it came out.
I think we tried, and then he told us we couldn't do it. We had to wait in a line, and we're like, why is this any different than
yeah, that's right,
character sightings?
Yeah, I wish they would do the Mickey pumpkin, at least one side of it, like maybe have one side with the line for people who want that, and then the other side do it like the characters, like walk up, take your picture, go, because it was ridiculous how long the line always was.
Yeah, it was nuts.
I think that's it though. Okay, hotel though. So we were at a Holiday Inn. It was pretty decent. It's something that it says you could walk to. We never tried it. We just Ubered every time. Yeah. Which I would recommend, because it's exhausting to like do a 15-minute walk, especially after a park day. Which I feel like if you're at Disney World, that's how long it takes you to get to the bus anyway sometimes. So like, I don't know, I don't know. But I would recommend
though, for people that don't Uber like me, just check your times, because I did not know that like depending on the certain time of day, like your Uber price can either go up or down, like it fluctuates. So when I got up at 4:30 in the morning, I checked the Uber price and it was like $58 and some change, which like that to me was already insane.
Yeah.
And then I waited and I was like, okay, I'll wait till 5. 5 came around and it was like 167 and some change. And I was like, how is like, that's robbery.
It really is, especially if you think about the fact that you're going to the airport. So you were going to LAX. I was about to say something that now wouldn't make sense. It took us $26, I think, to go from SNA airport to our hotel. So to do $60 the other way, maybe since LAX is farther, okay. But like when I did mine, it was $58. to go somewhere that took us 26, like it was literally double than what we.
It took you that much to get back to Santa Ana? Oh my gosh.
Yes, literally double what we paid. And it's like, but I schedule it. And so that's something that we finally figured out with Casey's. Like if you schedule it even like 10 minutes in advance, it dropped the price back down. So like if you're ever trying to Uber and you can wait a little bit, try like scheduling it out, or like even the night before, schedule your pickup, and hopefully that'll keep the price lower, because it really was getting in the like almost to $200, and that is absolutely insane.
But see, that's another thing too, to know that if you schedule it. So like you thankfully scheduled mine for me because I was still trying to pack up my suitcase. And I think you said it was scheduled for like 5:45. So I had like a good 25 minutes to wait in the lobby. What I realized is your ride doesn't go active until that time, like 5:45. So once 5:45 hits, then it dings out to the drivers and someone can claim your ride. And my guy was still 20 minutes away. And
Oh,
so I had to wait 45 minutes for the Uber driver to even come and pick me up.
mine
So,
didn't do that.
yeah,
It did it. That's weird.
yeah. I don't know if it just had to do with that time of the day. Like,
It might have been because we didn't schedule it till so close.
yeah,
And I had scheduled mine for that night. After I scheduled yours, I was like, I've got to schedule mine just in case, even though it was in the
yeah.
afternoon. But thank goodness I did.
I could not believe the price.
Insane. It's not right.
No, I was ready to walk all the way to LAX.
Gosh. You're definitely
Gee,
gonna miss your flight.
yeah,
I will say though, like I didn't realize it was a good neighbor hotel when I was booking it, because I was looking on Disney's website. So Disneyland is very different from Disney World when it comes to hotels, because there's 3 at Disneyland and there's a bajillion at Disney World, and there's every value, moderate, deluxe, whatever, like every level of hotel at Disney World. And that's not the case at Disneyland. There's 3, and even I don't even think they call it value, but their cheapest one is very expensive. And so they have a ton of good neighbor hotels that you can book straight through Disney or an agent. You should use an agent. It's not going to cost you any extra, just saying.
hi.
So
That's
that's,
us.
yeah. So Disney charges you for a travel agent, even if you're booking it yourself. Like that price is already built into your price. So when you hire a travel agent, Disney is paying us. And if you don't hire a travel agent, Disney's just keeping it. Like you're still
Yeah.
paying the same amount. Anyway, so I didn't realize it was a good neighbor hotel because I don't think it was coming up when I was looking at good neighbor hotels. So I had to just start calling around, and I eventually found this Holiday Inn, and I was not having any high expectations. And it was definitely not like a 5-star hotel, but it was very clean.
It was.
The staff was very nice.
Mm-hmm.
The elevator was a little old school, but it didn't break down on us, so that's good. Um, I don't know. They had like a pool that looked very, like I would have gone in swimming in it
It
if we
was
had more time.
nice looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
So
had a
I
little gift
definitely,
shop with like anything that
oh
you
yeah,
needed, band-aids, medicine, snacks, drinks,
cheaper
clothes.
souvenirs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, don't like not go to Disneyland because you look at the hotel prices and are like, oh my gosh. And don't not go because you think good neighbors aren't good enough. There are different levels of good neighbor. Like they have a Radisson Blue, I think, and all that. But I mean, there are a lot of good neighbor hotels. You can even see the fireworks from, like we could hear it from our room. But there was, I can't remember where it was. I stayed when we went with Clay and like Orson, but we could see the fireworks from our balcony, and it was a very cheap hotel, and it was like a 10-minute walk away. Excuse me. So definitely go to Disneyland. It's so much fun. You're hearing it from people who grew up going to Disney World and loved Disney World and had no good expectations for Disneyland. Not good, but not high expectations for Disneyland. And we both love it. It's worth your time and your trip for sure. And it can be a lot cheaper.
It was the best, honestly. I am so in love with DCA. I cannot wait to go back. I really cannot. And another thing too that like I just want to put out there, totally random, is if you have a fear, face it. Face it head on, do it by yourself, because I had this insane like deathly afraid fear of flying. And when I flew out Thursday night to Colorado, I had no choice but to be by myself. And thank God for Prozac and Xanax, because I got on that flight and I did it by myself. And now I love to fly. Like,
Yay.
I never thought I could like sleep on a plane, but our flight to Santa Ana and then my flight from LAX back home to New Orleans, like I slept. It just,
Yay.
I found it relaxing and I loved it. And now I love to fly and I want to fly every chance I get. So these
I'm
shoots
so proud
here.
of you.
Thank
Yes,
you. I'm really proud of myself.
you should be. That's a common fear that a lot of people have. And so I think it's probably good for people to hear like you can overcome that.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be easy. Like you might have to talk yourself down. You might have to take Prozac, but it can happen.
Yeah, it can happen. I mean, I was freaking terrified. Like, I wanted to turn the car around and go home, but like, I knew what was waiting on the other end. I got to hug you and talk to you and see your family and your house and
Go to
where you
Disney.
call home now. And like, it all just, it was the best reward. And now I'm like, I'm
Let's do
ready to
it.
go back. Yeah.
That's awesome. It'll make your life so much better when
Yeah.
you can just fly everywhere.
Well, that I felt like that was holding me back from so much. And I think that's probably too one of the reasons that I've never been to Disneyland is because I knew that I had to take a plane to get there. Whereas Florida, I can just hop in the car and drive.
Yeah. Sorry, there was a hair and it was like I could feel it and it was freaking me out. Yeah, because I think the flight from, say you were to fly to Disney World, even though you can drive, it's like an hour and a half flight. It's
Yeah.
like you go up, you're there for like 10 minutes, you go back down.
Yeah.
And to fly to Disneyland from New Orleans is what, 3.5,
It
4
was
hours or
almost
something?
4 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's kind of a longish flight. So I think like the way you did it too, not having to go all the way by yourself to meet me there,
Yeah.
like knowing, okay, I just got to get through this fight and then I can get through the next fight and then I get through the next fight. But then by after your first one, you were fine. You didn't have to do all that, like worry about
Yeah.
all that. That's awesome.
I was excited to get back to Denver in the morning to go on another flight.
So fun. I know I'm
It
like always
was.
looking at flights, like, where can I go for cheap? Nowhere, because money.
Girl, I got $5 to my name. Okay, I got a little bit more than that, but still.
But yeah. All right. Well, anything else? I feel like we covered a lot. Like, I guess wrapping up all the pro tips. Don't not go to a restaurant because you didn't get a reservation. Walk up and see if you can join the walk up list. Oga's, we did the same thing. We went to Oga's in the
Yeah,
Galaxy's
that's
Edge,
true.
walk up. And we did what we did is that was another thing. Like right after the fireworks is when we went. And so I immediately, when we got close to it, you can do it on the app if you're close enough. I just like joined the wait list. So our time, it was like 20 minutes or whatever. So we went and rode Smugglers Run and then it was time to go in. So
The
like
people that
definitely
had walked up directly behind us tried getting on the wait list and they told her, they were like, we just shut it down like for the night. That's
I
it.
didn't even hear
So,
that.
so we were the
Wow.
last ones in. Yep.
Yes. And it's so cool. Like definitely something to do because it's very another like immersive type thing. Um so that if you like the whole gift card idea, go to Joy Depot to get that.
Yeah.
Stay at a good neighbor hotel. This is the thing. We both forgot our cords for our phones. Yet I was walking around with a brick charger all day. So get a brick charger, but also like bring your phone cord. And this is what you should do. Have 2 phone cords, one that stays at your hotel, one that never leaves that brick.
Brick
So
was
bring
a
a brick.
really good idea because honestly, like I didn't think I would end up needing it, and I did. I needed it twice or 3 times or whatever it
Yeah.
was, and
Yeah,
that was
they're
awesome.
definitely like really well worth the investment. We use it
Yeah.
even at our house if we're like either too lazy to go upstairs and plug our phone in, or we want our phones with us still because we're not going to bed yet. We'll just like use the brick downstairs.
I mean, heck, it
Yeah,
works. It works.
yeah.
My husband would
So
probably like that. I'd stop stealing his charger out of the bedroom during the day.
yeah, really. Okay, so gift card, stay at a good neighbor hotel, join walk up lists, which you can do. This is another thing about that. We couldn't join the walk up list from our phone for Blue Bayou. You sometimes can, but like it wasn't really available when we were there. So still literally walk up. Do a single rider line if you can. I don't know. Any other pro tips?
Try places, even if they have good or bad reviews,
Yes.
just to
Decide for
try it for
yourself
yourself. Yeah.
for sure.
Try everything once. Isn't that something that we discussed on the trip?
Yes, and that's what I tell Orson too. You don't have to like it, but you do need to try it. And that's what we talked about with rides too. So I was telling Casey, one of my coworkers I was talking to before we left, and she said a rule that she had with her kids when they were younger is you don't have to like it, but you have to try it. You don't know that you don't like something if you don't try it. It can look a certain way, but you don't know. And now she did that with rides, and now they love every type of ride. And that's kind of, my parents never like specifically said that to me, but that's kind of what they instilled in me. And that's what I hope to do with Orson and Maeve too. Like, you don't have to like it, you do have to try it. And so I think that goes for adults too, because you still don't know, even if you're an adult, if you like something, if you don't try it. Food, rides, anything.
And don't think that you can conquer the parks on 1 hour of sleep.
Or even so, like I remember telling you, I think I even said it in the last video, like we got so much done when I went with Clay and Orson, who was a toddler, so much more done than we did when you and I went. And I think watch those crowd calendars, because there are definitely better times to go where we probably could have fit everything, not everything, but like way more in.
Yeah.
So next time we go, hopefully it'll be like a little less crowded.
You know I'm going to be on this now, right? Like I'm going to be looking at crowd calendars. We're going in December. I will force you and drag you.
I want to go really bad. I have a spring break in March. Oh, we had talked about that though, because mine's during the week, but Justin will be working.
Yeah.
But maybe like the weekend before or after. Anyway, so I don't know. I can't think of anything else that like right now I'm like, this is another pro tip, but just do it. Just go. Because you can love Disney World all you want, but Disneyland is still something very special.
And better.
And better. In so many ways. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's it. Thanks for listening to us.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll have some videos of what we saw. We'll try our best. So we'll see kind of like how everything turned out. And I do have a Disneyland haul that will come out eventually. And then I don't know. We'll go from there. We still want to do small shop stuff.
Yes.
So drop down anything you want to see, like any type of small shop stuff, or if there's any small shop you want us to review for you, we can do that. But that's it for tonight. So thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.